You can start your presentation now. Thank you.
All right. So greetings, everyone. My topic for the day is the role of artificial intelligence in predictive policing, progresses and challenges. So let me break down the title for you. So predictive policing is the process of forecasting a crime well before it happens. It may or may not happen. It is just a preventive strategy. So how does this process work? So data is collected based on times, locations and nature of past crimes, and this data is analyzed and crime patterns are drawn and predictions are made accordingly. Whether crime rate will decrease or increase in a particular locality, when a shooting may occur, or where the next car will be broken into, and so on and so forth. So based on this analysis, suggestions are given. So when and where police should patrol, and when and whom the police should arrest before the crime happens. That's the most important point. And artificial intelligence. We all know that it is a computer technology that is concerned with making machines work in an intelligent manner, similar to how the human mind works. So it includes qualities such as ability to learn and ability to understand human voice and so on. So there were several conventional methods to predictive policing, and there was a huge shift during the 1996 because digital storage became much cheaper than paper. So AI was becoming popular. So after AI, big data, machine learning and predictive analytics were employed in predictive policing. So there are three main purposes of predictive policing. It involves predicting crimes, offenders, as well as victims of crime. So there are certain merits in predictive policing. So it helps in making the best use of limited resources, and it tells the police where to focus and where not to. And of course, it saves a lot of time and energy for the people involved in law enforcement. But the issue is that the challenges in predictive policing outweighs the merits. So firstly, it actually kind of labels people. Let's say a group of adolescents are predicted that they are more likely to commit certain crimes. Then they are labeled as potential criminals, and this might actually affect their mental state of mind. And for example, in Australia, suspect target management plan. This was a scheme in which was heavily criticized for picking on Aboriginal kids. They were like tribal groups or indigenous groups in India. They're similar to that. So kids less than even 9 years old were actually predicted in these using these tools as criminals. So in 2015, this race actually comprised of 44% of the police's target list. And similarly, in India, we might not be aware of predictive policing techniques, but it is in place, and especially in Delhi and Hyderabad. So in Delhi, C Maps is being used, and in Hyderabad, NCRB and Advanced Data Research Institute have collaborated to work on creating softwares for for analyzing these policing. So the challenges in India is that we already have under trial population consisting of the marginalized communities, that is the Muslims, Dalits and Adivasis communities, more than half of the under trial population. And secondly, abuse of power. So it provides opportunities for the police to make arbitrary preventive arrests and detentions. So a paper published by Vidushi Marda and Shivangi, so it states that they have actually analyzed the techniques involved in the Delhi model. So it has actually filters that filter ghettos, migrant colonies and minority settlement areas. So these kind of filters actually extend from the belief that crime arises due to the de facto existence of those people and the areas that they live in. And similarly, crime reporting, these happen more in certain castes and certain religions and race of people than other religious and caste minorities. And fourthly, the the basis that they are using is the number of times a person has been arrested or charged, and not the number of times that they were convicted for the crime. So this is the main issue. And there are certain other challenges. I would like to conclude with my suggestions that there is still no proper law for predictive policing. So offender-based policing should be a complete no-no until a law is in place. And personally identifiable information of ex-convicts and suspected criminals should not be shared with any of the private or public parties. And proper amendments need to be in place in evidence and CRPC. And third-party audits must be conducted to regulate and evaluate the risks to the rights of these people who are subject to this kind of technology. And throughout the country, there should be a standard operating procedure, and training should be given to police officials to facilitate cautious and judicious use of these tools to reduce the possibilities of unlawful preventive detention. So thanks a lot for the opportunity.